Hey gang, it's JC, and this is the Daily Dose for Friday, March 30th, 2012, a combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Clayton. We have great television archives up top. We're celebrating our second anniversary here on the Daily Dose and the revamped JC on the Line website, which we started 2 years ago. Things are going great. We have our eye candy feature right below, and over in the corner, the rock and roll poll. Yesterday's question, according to a new survey of people over the age of 40, the happiest year of your life is when you're 33 years old. Our question, was the survey right? And a whopping 48% of you said, I'm hoping the happiest year of my life is still to come. That's almost half of our respondents. Number two answer, survey's wrong. 38% and only 13% of you said that the survey was right. All right, what do you think of the Motion Picture Association's rating system for movies? This thing was started back in the 1960s. Jack Valenti was brought in by the MPAA because Congress kept trying to regulate what you saw in movies. And so the MPAA was born, and it's a rotating panel of about a half a dozen people that sit in a movie theater in Dallas, Texas, and watch all of these movies and then slap ratings on them. And some people think the system is good, some people think the system is flawed, and other people love it. And we're going to have a story about that system here in just a couple of seconds. But what do you think of the MPAA? A, it's a great help for determining what I and my entire family see. B, it's a great help in determining what the young kids in my family see or saw, if you don't have kids anymore. It might not be perfect, but it's probably necessary. Or D, the idea that a half dozen unknown people sitting in a theater in Dallas can have that much influence over what the entire country sees seems completely ridiculous. Choose one of those answers down in the corner. Please respond, and we'll have results for you Monday right here, and of course on the Big 550 KTRS. That MPAA rating system is being discussed again here today because we have this movie Bully, which is a documentary that follows about a half a dozen kids who are affected by bullying, and the MPAA, because there's like 6 F words in it, slapped a rating on it that's, the movie is for the kids. You can't get hung up on a couple of F words and thus make the movie unavailable to the very kids that it could help. This is why the whole system is being called into question again. So Bully is being released unrated, and it's up to individual theaters as to who can see it. And again, there's all sorts of problems with the rating system right now. They tried to start up this NC-17, and that just crashed and burned. There's got to be some sort of policy, some sort of system in place for movies that are for adults. And I'm not talking about adult films. I'm talking about movies that might have a certain amount of sex or violence or content that for whatever reason just isn't a good idea for kids to see, but that mature adults can see. And right now, the whole thing has sort of broken down in that regard. It won't be the last you've heard of that. Speaking of movies, from the Bad Idea department, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito may do a sequel to their 1988 comedy Twins called Triplets, and Eddie Murphy would be the third. Wow. All right, so tomorrow night here in St. Louis and across the country, I guess they're going to be doing something called Earth Hour. And it's supposed to be calling attention to the fact that we're wasting energy. And so the electronic billboards, the casinos, lights all over the city of St. Louis are going to shut off. I think it's between 8:30 and 9 to sort of focus attention on the problem, which in and of itself is not a terrible idea. But I got a better idea. Why don't you turn the thermostat up a little bit so that it's not 45 degrees every place I go all summer. It is unnecessarily cold. I've been banging on this drum for years. It is unnecessarily cold in office buildings, municipal buildings, grocery stores, malls, shopping centers, public buildings, movie theaters. You got to bring a coat into some of these places if you're going to do your shopping in the summer, and it's absolutely ridiculous. And I know all their research people and marketing consultants, everything like that, say, oh, you can't have a hot store or a hot building because then people don't like it. It's like, well, you know what? You might be taking things to the extreme. Just because they said it can't be a hot building doesn't mean it have to be 45 degrees. All right, no big surprise here during the 2011 football season when the New Orleans Saints players were getting secret payoffs for injuring opposing players. They, the New Orleans Saints, were among the most violent teams in the NFL. The Saints were second in the NFL with 17 defensive flags for violating rules to protect players from being hurt. Only the Oakland Raiders had more with 18. The league average, by the way, per team was 9. Okay, very, very disturbing numbers coming out today about, it's actually 7 statistics about men who frequent prostitutes. And this last one, number 7, is going to blow you away. Number 1, first of all, the most popular foreign country where American men pay for sex is Canada. Canada, of all places. All right, number 2, the rest of the top 10 most popular countries for Americans to hire prostitutes are the Dominican Republic, Germany, Jamaica, Japan, Mexico, Puerto Rico, England, France, and Italy. Number 3, more men say they've gotten a prostitute when they were out of the country than when they traveled within the U.S. to a different state. 20% of men say their first sexual experience was with a prostitute. That's 1 out of every 5 guys is saying that his first. Wow. All right, 39% have arranged their prostitutes over the internet, 44% go through escort agencies, 33% brothels, 29% massage parlors, and 55% have gone to strip clubs. Blowing open the notion that strip clubs are only strip clubs. If you're able to get prostitutes through a strip club, well then guess what? Somebody's looking the other way. 67% believe that paid sex counts as consensual sex. And the one that just kills me here, number 7, the average number of times the men surveyed had paid for sex was 54 times. So apparently once you start down the Elliot Spitzer road of hiring prostitutes, you just keep going. Apparently just about every country in the world has more lights on sex than we do. Only England has the lights out more. In a new global survey, 64% of Americans say they regularly turn the lights off before they get it on. Not your imagination, you are spending a fortune on coffee. A new survey found the average coffee drinker spends about $25,000 in their lifetime on coffee alone. In California, speaking of prostitution, a woman is suing McDonald's for turning her into a prostitute. She was working at McDonald's, but because of the low wages and bad health insurance, she needed more money, so her manager started pimping her out. She's seeking an undisclosed amount of money. By the way, you know how you can tell Ronald McDonald at a nudist camp, right? Yeah, he's the one with the sesame seed buns. I'm hiding my face after that. This is all you're getting from now on. Yesterday, Time magazine put up their ballot for the 100 most influential people. So if you want to have a say, hop on to time.com/time100 and you can vote for, among the suggested names on the list, Adele, comedian Louis C.K., Ryan Seacrest, Lana Del Rey, and Tim Tebow. Did imbeciles make this list? Augusta Country Club may finally have to admit a woman. This is hilarious. They always give a membership to the CEO of the Masters' top sponsors, and IBM's CEO is a woman. I love it. Stockpile your maple syrup now because the unseasonably warm temperatures are going to cause a shortage. Best Buy closing 50 stores and opening 100 smaller, more cost-effective mobile locations next year. House of Representatives rejected President Obama's budget by a vote of 414-0. Obama is so desperate for good news, he proudly calls it proof he can unite Congress. Donald Trump predicts Hillary Clinton will run for president in 2016, so he's got 4 years to figure out a way to convince Americans that she was born in Kenya. Ron Paul says it's too early to count him out of the GOP presidential race. Okay, now you can count him out. And the Pope met with Fidel Castro in Cuba this week. I don't know what that conversation was like. Nice hat. Nice beard. All right, Bill Maher, we've got him on the air today at 2:15 on the Big 550 KTRS. If you missed that, at 3:30 every afternoon, we have podcasts commercial free of the show Grant with JC and Trish, my buddy Trish, who does Trish's Trash every afternoon. So if you missed the show for whatever reason, can't listen, 3:30 every afternoon on KTRS.com. You can hit that podcast thing and you can hear the whole show, and you'll hear Bill Maher, who's going to be at the Family Arena in St. Charles on April 15th. Birthdays today, the only person inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 3 times. Once solo, once with the Yardbirds, once with Cream. Eric Clapton is 67. And it was 154 years ago today, in 1858, that a genius by the name of Hyman Lipman patented the first pencil with an eraser. By the way, if you want a trivia contest here, the average pencil can write a continuous line 35 miles long. All right, JC's Eye Candy today, proving you don't need high-tech computer skills or a PhD in Facebook in Photoshop to create something brilliantly stupid. Check the picture out right below what you're looking at right now. JC's Eye Candy. You'll get a kick out of it. All right, our rock and roll poll question for the weekend. What do you think of that MPAA rating system for movies? We have 4 choices for you. Please answer in the corner. And we'll talk to you again on Monday and every day on the Big 550 KTRS along with Trish from noon until 3. That's it, the Daily Dose for Friday, March 30th, 2012. A combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Clayton. And in the meantime, we've beaten this one to death. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.